today I am talking to Gerhard Genis. Gerhard is an independent professional and also program lead of the Retiree Repurposing Programme, which is the reason of our conversation today. I recently attended the, I think, second graduation of the Retiree Repurposing Programme and was so inspired and impressed by the whole program that I thought it might be a good idea to catch up with Gerhard. So let's start. Thank you for joining me, Gerhard.
Thank you for having me. It is only a pleasure and a privilege.
Let's start with the Retiree Repurposing Programme. What is it all about?
Annette, this is an idea that was agreed to by the SAIA board, that because of the scarce skill of certain components within the classes of business and the retiring ratio of people, that they should harvest certain of those retired skills and to bring that skills on board in such a fashion that young junior leadership management may have access on a structured program so that these skills can be harvested and plowed back into our industry, which is the backbone of the South African economy.
It is a topic that is very close to my heart and something that we as an industry often talk about, and the fact that there's not been enough done. But I think there is definitely strides being made, albeit very small, with the start of this program. So I am correct in saying that you've just finished the second cohort, right?
We have completed the second cohort. The first one was very manual to a certain extent, the proof of concept. I mean, you cannot just jump in and do something like this. And when the SAIA approached me to ask if I would look into something like this, of course, because I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate with what I'm doing, and we are hopeful that all the powers to be will sign off the proposed start and kick off the 2025-2026 intake soon.
Okay, so let's start. Who are the partners that you're referring to?
The partners or powers to be, obviously, they are the INSETA, it is the SAIA, it is the IISA, and then the FIA. Those are the predominant role players. The stakeholders, obviously, is the broader non-life insurance industry, and then future-wise, one can obviously look into scale this whole thing to such an extent that you can bring in more of the dynamics within the non-life insurance industry.
INSETA plays a fairly big role in terms of the funding, am I correct?
Look, of course, funding is an important aspect, because if you want to measure your success ratio, you need to have certain tools. And if you want to be prescriptive of how it should happen, then you need some tools. And for those tools, obviously, there's funding. And to also have the retirees in such a position that they can look forward, you need to remunerate them. So at the end of the day, funding is paramount for this particular program.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So tell me how it works in terms of mentors and mentees being chosen. How does that process work?
So I'll give you sort of a combination of the past and what need to happen in the future.
Yes.
The technology that has been chosen is the Together platform, or the
Together
together platform, yeah, for the operating system And then we have chosen another platform called Upskillist, where all the soft skills and components are built in. Now, when you send out a flyer to promote the 2025-2026 intake, you ask certain questions to people online. You identify what you want. So, number one, it needs to be class of business specific. Number two, you're looking at the hard skills of the person, you're looking at the soft skills of the person. The person must have access to own Wi-Fi, to own computers, and the person needs to be at least 3 years in a managerial position. Then all this data being collected from the mentors and the mentees. Obviously, the mentor must also be in the industry still, not longer than 3 years, i.e., and then the algorithms of the system behind bring then potential matches. Now, for the 25-2026 intake, which we are running at the current moment, I have received an 84% potential match between mentees and mentors just by means of the algorithms that running behind the scene.
Okay.
Now, after that, then we obviously go and sit down and go through the CV of the person, and then it becomes a manual intervention by the stakeholders, myself, and then we say, you know what, knowing this person well in the industry and knowing this individual from interaction, these two, although behind the scenes on paper they may be a good match, but personality wise, we have to be more careful. And obviously, then we interview each and every mentor and mentee that we want to onboard onto this program.
How big was this year's intake, and how big are you planning to make the next intake?
The past year, we had 20 mentees and 7 mentors. Unfortunately, 2 mentees right at the start of the program decided we cannot continue, and unfortunately, we lost 2 mentees during the course of the program. So we ended up with 16 mentees and then 7 mentors. What we're aiming for is to have not more than 75 in total for the intake of 2025-2026, because now we can scale the program. We have got the benefit of systems that we are now better equipped and used to, and we can do much better. Future-wise, the technology that has been chosen can accommodate up to 1,000 licensees. So the technology is good. The idea from the IISA, INSETA, the SAIA, and the FAA is profound. It is now the scenario to say, let's take it to the next level, to the next step. And as we move along, let us grow, let us learn, and let us plow back what is available out there. And people and the mentors love it. I mean, you could have seen
I've
on the
seen
day.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the sorry for I'm going to get a little bit emotional about this, but just that the mentors afterwards come to me and said, I'm going to miss this guy. I'm going to
Yeah.
miss this lady. But the friendship will continue. But my request to them was quite profound. Cut the umbilical cord. You are not a crutch to the person. You've given, it's now time for their leadership to take on board and move to the next level.
I love that boundaries and the rules that has been set. One other question. So how many mentees does a mentor get? And what I did pick up was that in some of the groups, the mentees was all from the same company. Any reasoning behind that?
I think there's a couple of things that I need to clarify first. Classes of business is important.
Yeah.
They have to talk the same, call it lingo.
Okay.
The second important thing is how much time has the mentor available?
Yes.
And for the best reasons in the world, I do not like to have more than 3 mentees per mentor.
Okay.
Because bear in mind that for a mentor to have a good 1 hour session with a mentee, preparation can take up to 5 hours per 1 hour. It all depends. It's topic specific. So that is the first component of the answer. The second is that not all the insurers are so excited about this program as some of the other insurers. And when you have three, um, call it agri people from one company, and you've got one mentor for agri, then you match them, because it's not about the organizations, it's about the mentee.
100%.
And to plow back what we do have.
Okay. You shared some fascinating stats on that, and I hope you've got them on hand, because I would like you to share that again. But my first question is this online or in person or a combination?
It is a combination. And because we service the entire South African insurance community, one of the criteria this year was, which province are you within? Because you could have easily seen that on the day of the celebration or the graduation, if we're going to be 100 people next year in one room, it becomes too big.
Yeah.
So it is online, it is one-on-one, and it is obviously, I told the guys, and sorry, I must just go back a little bit. I did my MBA in London on floppy disks and
Those were
CDs.
the days, my friend.
Those
Those
were
were the
the
days.
So actually, it is nothing new for us to continue with the great technology that we do have. So it is online, one-on-one, face-to-face, and then obviously the graduation ceremony. We would really appreciate to have everybody in one room, because you cannot believe how much information being shared on the day between mentors, mentees, and most important, the powers to be within the industry, the CEOs that were there, and meeting and networking, which is paramount. Networking is one of the big things that I really appreciate. This is forthcoming immediately. There's this lady, she's going to have a good talk soon, or maybe she has done it already. So to expose the young guys to the CEs, the HR people, etc.
Got so many questions. Is there a structured program that the mentors get to follow?
Yes. I have, when we requested permission to continue with this, I have built a framework, and this is not my framework. I've done some extensive research how to run a program like this. And the rationale behind this framework is also why we have chosen the Together platform. It also gives you a framework and a structure. How do you start? When do you send out what? How many times the people need to get together, etc. So the framework and the structure is there. The curriculum being written per mentee, per mentor, because the mentees' needs need to be addressed. And it's not just technical uh, needs. You will be surprised, because they create that rapport with one another, that the mentee is taking the mentor in his or her trustworthy space. And this is when you hear, okay, they start opening up, and you start hearing of all the good, the bad, and the ugly in the workplace and at home. And I, I, I said to the mentors when I speak to them right in the beginning, prepare yourself for the tough stuff, my terminology, because it might happen. And every time we enter up with the tough stuff, that me and the mentor had to have a sit down discussion and say, how do you, Gerhard, help? approach this situation. And if we do not have the answers, I get in people to assist the mentor to give the correct answers, the correct direction. We are not there to facilitate psychology stuff because that's tough stuff. But we are there to support the mentee when they run into a difficult time where there's trauma at home, to give them guidance and direction where to go to and how to go about.
It really is amazing to hear, because that was something that I have picked up at the ceremony, that it was really the technical stuff. There was a big focus on that, and that was really important. But the fact that there was always and that's the importance of this whole mentoring thing. There's also the questions of just how to handle a conflict situation, how to handle a difficult client, and that is all part of a mentoring process. And what I've also picked up in the same breath is that there's no age restriction in terms of the mentees, because some of those mentees had 15, I think there's even more years experience already in the industry. Am I correct? So this is not an age thing. You have to be under 35 or under 32 to be a mentee. You have to want to learn and increase your skills in terms of class of business, but inevitably there are so many more things that comes with it, and that's been handled. And for me, I could also see the mentors are really people with a lot of years experience in the industry, and also people that have went through the mills in terms of those difficult clients, those difficult conversations at the office. So that was really inspiring for me to see. That is really a mentor-mentee situation.
Yeah, and sorry, I interrupt you, but the mentors categorically stated that they have learned in all probability more during this journey than the mentee has learned. And that's inspiring.
Yes.
Because these guys and girls of that age, and I call them the ash blondes, they talk about the silver foxes. I don't like that. I mean, they are open. They say, you know what? When I took them out for something to buy the one evening, the one person said, you know what? This year was so inspiring to me as a mentor that I don't know why I haven't done it before. Because I got so much out of it. That was quite inspiring for me.
It's very inspiring, and I really hope that this will roll a snowball into something much bigger, because the gap that you guys fill is enormous. It's a conversation we keep on having. So it's fantastic. So do you have those stats on hand that you shared?
I have got most of them in my memory bank, so I can answer them, but they
Give
might
us some of it.
Yeah, but some of them, there might be a tolerance for 1 or 2% that is not 100% correct.
Give me some of those stats.
So let me start off with me. I have spent 480 hours on the PASS program. So in all fairness, that's not a lot of time. I think that's about 3 months. But that's excluding all the stuff on the peripherals. The mentors, the final statistic that I have reported on, the mentors and the mentees had over 400 sessions, which can be seen as about 52 minutes per session. The feedback sessions that we have got, so now the system works this way. After a session, the mentor inputs some of his or her comments or things that need to be taken care of, and the mentees. And then you've got, out of a 1 to 4 ratio of scoring, mentor, how did I experience the mentee, and vice versa. The mentees scored the mentors 3.92 out of 4, which is great. The mentors, obviously, they're a little bit more experienced, a little bit more critical, they score the mentees 3.82 out of 4, which is, in all fairness, very, very high. It's good. And the statistics are not 100% correct. And the rationale behind this is not all the carriers allow third-party software to integrate and or to be part and parcel of their environment. So some of those are outside. So that on top of that, I would easily say we look easily 450 to 500 hours of mentoring time. That's not preparation time. That's not slack time, lag time, traveling. Mentoring time over the past period. And it's just amazing how well the team gelled, the entire team, every quarter, when we as a collective get together, there's only one request from me as the team lead. Tell us all in the room, that's here, online, doesn't matter. What did you do the past quarter and how have you grown? And it is amazing to see where we started and what you guys have seen the other day. There was, it's just amazing.
Yeah. It was a really, really inspiring session, Gerhard, and although I've got a lot more questions, I think let's do it in bits and pieces, and we'll do a follow-up chat at some point. But I mean, from my side, from someone who is really passionate about upskilling, about getting the young people trained and better leaders of the future, you know, the insurance apprentice. It's something that is very, very, very close to our hearts too. I think I would like to say thank you on behalf of the industry. You run with this, but you've got the backing. Obviously, SAIA approached you. So maybe it's a thank you to SAIA. It's a thank you to INSETA, FIA, and the IISA, because this is just something that we really desperately need. And I really wish that more people would get involved, more of the right people would get involved. There are so much knowledge. So don't be scared to share your knowledge if you're that person closing in on retirement. And that's what we really need. Has the applications closed for the next intake, or is there still an opportunity?
The applications I kept open, the current contract between the service providers and the SAIA lapsed by the end of this month. So at first I said the close date was in the past, but because of utilizing the benefit that we still have got, although because we started late with the software, so I've kept it open. It's still open, and I will keep it open up until the end of this month. Then
end of April.
Yes. Then I have to close it down, because if there's not a contractual arrangement between the SAIA, the INSETA, then I must close it down, and then I have to withdraw all the data from the data sets so that I can have at least some backfall to work with, because we do not know how things are going to pan out. So it's still open. If there's any mentors, any mentees out there who like to put their name up or their hat in the ring, so to speak, they can just go into the system and register themselves. Complete.
Where do they go? Please direct them.
I will most definitely send you the link so that you can publish it wherever you have to publish it, and then they can click on it. Structured approach, biogram, and then the name is on the system for evaluation.
Thank you very much for your time, Gerhard. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did enjoy the day also. I did enjoy, there was, just to give some feedback to our viewers, the people were divided into their groups, that they had the mentee mentors groups, and they had sort of an interactive session on what it really meant for them, looking back, looking forward. Some amazing stories, promotions, stuff that people really learned. Like you say, from the mentors and the mentees, both learned from each other. So it was really inspiring, and well done for the program you've put together. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, I must thank everybody that is part and parcel of this program and all the support that I got from everyone. Without that support, would not have been possible. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.